Hello guys, this is Octavius with Summit City Traditional Archery. Today I want to do a video about practicing for hunting season. Now the thing is that if you've been following my channel for a little bit, you see that I'm big on practice. Why is that? Let me tell you a story, okay? When I first started in traditional archery, what tended to happen was I would wait all year long and only hunt deer during deer season. Now, when you first hear that, you think to yourself, well, what are you doing now? Are you poaching them? No, I'm not poaching them. But what I do now is I practice throughout the year. And one of the methods that I use to practice is I hunt other animals, okay? Whether it be turkey, whether it be hogs, whether it be rabbits and squirrels, whatever I can do to use a traditional bow to put down animals, right? Because in a real life situation, when the adrenaline's flowing, the animal's on the move, you're going to have to rely on instincts. Unfortunately, when I first started my bow hunting career with a traditional bow, I didn't practice enough to the point where in those pressure situations, it would be instinctual when I had to make a shot. Okay, guys, that is so critical, is to practice throughout the year, hunting and target practice. Now, I know that our time is limited, and I know that there's some of us that don't have the time to shoot every day, or you might be a person to say, between my schedule and my work, I'm just and my family life, I'm not at a place where I want to shoot when I get home, you know, because I'm tired. I got baseball games and football games, and I got to do things for my wife or my husband, or I gotta go in on call, and I just don't want to shoot a bow. I'm tired. Hey, listen, guys, I know where you're at with that. I understand that we're all busy and there's all these excuses that we can make. But here's the thing. It is so disheartening when you get in a tree stand at the end of the year, in the fall or in the winter, and you're up in that deer stand and you're freezing your tail off, or it's super hot wherever you may live, and there is a big buck that comes by, and you take your arrow and you knock it on that string, and you draw back and you pull and you anchor and you let that arrow go, and you miss the buck. Guys, I don't know about you, but I felt that. I felt so deflated when I missed a buck, so deflated when I missed a deer, so deflated when I missed a hog, because I did not practice. Practice is so key, and we have to make time for it, even in the busyness of our lives. And so here's the thing. I'm gonna give you some practical things to do. And if you follow this, it's gonna help you. Number one, practice when you can. Guys, I work full time like many of you. Traditional archery and hunting is my number one hobby. It's something that really encompasses kind of what I enjoy doing as a man outside of, you know, family activities and work and so forth. But it's a hobby. I don't do it for a living. And so I have to schedule it in order to stay good at it, right? And so what I tend to say to myself is I have to shoot 3 to 4 times a week. Now that's a lot for some guys, but I used to shoot 7 days a week when I worked for myself, okay? But now I don't work for myself anymore. I work for other people. So now 3 days is my minimum. And what I mean 3 days is shooting for about 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day. You have that ability. If you think about it, you get home from work, and literally you might be scrolling on your phone or watching TV or talking on the phone to somebody, or maybe just walking around and looking at things on your property, or whatever it is, arguing with somebody you shouldn't argue with, like your wife. I don't know, but there is some time that you can carve out 15, 20 minutes, maybe even a half hour, where you can shoot consistently at least 3 days a week. And so that's what I intended to do, and that's what I've been consistently doing. So this week I was able to shoot 3 days. Today being a Sunday, at the time of this recording, this is a Sunday day, Sunday afternoon, I'm going to be able to shoot this bow for the 4th time. So now I'm getting practice in. Now, I'm saying all this for a reason as well. Since I have upped my game the last few years of hunting and practicing as much as I can, I am always supremely confident when I get in the deer stand. Why? Because I'm killing animals throughout the year. I'm going to 3D tournaments, and I'm practicing in the side yard of my property. Every single week I'm doing something, right? So when I want to go after that trophy buck that I got on the trail camera, I'm not as nervous because I've had preparation. Now, one of the things that I did 2-3 weeks ago, I went on a hog hunt with my father-in-law, my brother-in-law, and some friends from the church. It was a blast, right? I showed up with a traditional bow. It wasn't this Bear Kodiak, super Kodiak. It was a custom 3-piece longbow that I have that was bought used. That it wasn't custom made for me. It was custom made from another individual that I know, and I bought it from him because he was downsizing his collection. But it was the first time I ever took it out. It was a 66-inch longbow, and it was about 56 to 57 pounds at my draw length, and I took it out. Well, everybody else was going with their guns. I have pictures, and I have a little bit of a video about it, and I might do another video concerning that particular hunt. But I didn't film it because I don't have the equipment yet to film GoPro and all the things into that, because I'm learning. This channel is new. And so I went out, try to focus on killing hogs with a traditional bow. That was my goal. Even though it's supposed to bring your gun, I brought my bow instead, because they told me the shots could be a long distance, it could be further away, you're not guaranteed to get close, and they didn't want me to spend all the money to drive all the way up to Oklahoma and get into a situation where I didn't get anything. Okay, I still make the drive. I still help rent at the lodge, and we went out on this ranch, right? Well, when I brought my longbow out of the bedroom that I was renting in the lodge, I went out to the kitchen to grab a snack, and I was getting ready to go out that evening, and the guys looked at me and they said, "You're not going out with a longbow, are you?" And immediately I thought to myself, well, here we go. They're probably going to judge me, and they're probably going to say I should have brought a gun, and everybody's dressed out in orange, and all of them are, you know, super stoked with their 300 blackout rounds and their ARs, and 300 Winchesters and 270s, and just high-powered rifles, right? I think one guy had a 30-06. Maybe one guy had a shotgun with slugs in it. They had the weaponry, man. But all I had was a traditional bow. And so I said, no, I'm going with this. My goal is to always try first to kill animals with a traditional bow, because I'm a traditional bow hunting junkie. However, I brought my 30-30 with a scope on it, just in case I see something far away and I can't never get close to it, and I'll make a shot on it. So they told me, or they asked me, I should say, what's your preferred way to hunt? I said, my preferred way to hunt is to spot and stalk. I don't want to sit in a tree stand. These hogs are going to be on the move as a herd. I want to track the herd, right? And so the acreage is about 300 to 400 acres. And so they took me into the area of the woods where they said there's usually a herd over here, but we'll see what happens. So they dropped me off. I was by myself. Guys, went out in the woods, no lie, and there was a herd out there, about 70 to 80, and I was downwind of them. I snuck up on them. Went off about 15, 20 yards into timber, wait till they walked by, picked one, shot, missed the first one, went right underneath the belly. But I was completely calm. I shot him because I was doing this completely instinctual. Then the next one comes by, and when you go with a bow, you're not missing with a shotgun or a rifle. They're not spooked. So they just kept trotting along, and then they started doing a heavy pace because something else spooked them over there in the other end of the timber, and they started running by me, and I picked one, got, hit anchor, drew, bam, right through the heart. No lie, I got pictures of it, and I'm gonna put it on the channel eventually. I got a heart shot on my first hog on this ranch. And then all of a sudden it ran off about 200 yards with a heart shot, blew right through it. I think I was doing like a 650 grain arrow, I think, and a magnet stinger on the end. And it was an awesome shot, and I was so pleased, about 15 to 20 yards if I could remember right. Point is that I had no time to think. There was nothing that I can think about. I have to make this shot. Here it is, I'm in the woods like this, okay? And they're going by me, man. They're not waiting for me. It's not like this deer target back over here, right? It's not like these guys are running by. And so here I am. I missed the first one. I'm like, okay, let me settle in and really pick a spot. Then when I raised up, right, as soon as I got on target, boom, I let that arrow go right through the heart. Now, that never can happen if I don't practice through the week, if I don't hunt every month. I'm not going to be prepared for that situation. So when I go back to the lodge and everybody's oohing and ahhing and want to take pictures of the boar I shot, and they want to see the bow that I went out with, now they were believers. But at first they weren't. What made them believers? Because they saw the fruit of my hunt. They saw the boar laying there in the back of the side-by-side or the buggy, okay? So when they get up there on that gator and they see, man, there's a boar in there and all he has is a bow, their mouths drop. But guys, I wasn't surprised. Because if you put me in a situation where there's game to be had, I have the skill set to kill said animals because I practice. So now it becomes instinctual. And so you have to practice. You should be able to take your bow, turn, draw, and hit your spot. And if you don't, then you need to keep practicing that, okay? And so you can see that tree right there. I went around that tree, boom, and shot. That's what you have to do. Okay, you have to put yourselves in situations, even in the yard, where you're going around a tree. Okay, you can see over here, I have a turkey target, and back there I have a hog target at different lengths. It's 20, then it's 25, and it's 30. I typically don't go after anything up to 30 yards, but 20 to 25, I'll shoot all day. But the thing is that I practice this. So on the same hand, you have guys at the actual lodge coming back without hogs, missing with ARs and rifles with scopes on them, guys, sitting in a deer stand over a feeder. Why are they missing? Because they don't practice. They go out and they just bang at animals, okay? So there is no craft, there's no art to what they're doing. And so guys, this is essential that we as traditional bow hunters not only practice and get ourselves in situations where we can be successful, but also we show the hunting community the ethical way to hunt, okay? Because let's face it, a lot of guys who go out with guns, nothing against my friends, nothing against the guys that I met over there on that weekend at that ranch, a lot of gun hunters are consistently guys that go out and bang at animals and wound them and never recover them because they have a long-range rifle that can shoot out to 200 yards, not 20, 200 yards. And if they miss, no big deal. If they hit it, great. but they're willing to take those long shots. Whereas us as traditional bow hunters, we have to get in within 25 to 30 yards max. But if not, like I was, about 15 to 20 yards to make that shot on them. Okay, it's more of a challenge, but it also helps us learn more about the animal. The other thing that happened on this hunt is that I got to learn more about the animals because I put myself in a situation to learn about them. So I went out there and stalked them, and I was comfortable knowing that when the shot was given to me, I could take a traditional bow and I could make it happen. Okay, so guys, practice. Okay, set the standard in your family and in your community. When you go out to the hunting land, when you go out to the deer lease, when you go out to the private land, when you go out to the state land, wherever you go, set the standard on what it means to get it done the right way, an ethical way. Now, I have wounded animals before with a traditional bow. You bet your bottom dollar I have. When you hunt as long as I have with a traditional bow, you're going to wound an animal here and there, but they're really few and far between. When I went out with a gun, when I was younger, when I went out all the time, I would take longer distance shots, and sometimes I would wound them and never find them. I've wounded more deer and more animals in my life with a gun than I have with a traditional bow. So I'm telling you this so you know that me and you have to get to a place where we set the stage when it comes to hunting, when it comes to practicing, when it comes to making an ethical shot as hunters, because when you go out with traditional equipment, you need to be able to say that I'm doing it the right way. I might be hunting the hard way, like Howard Hill said, but I'm doing it the right way. And we can be role models to the hunting community because we take it seriously enough to say, if I'm going out with traditional bow, I'm gonna make it count. Okay, guys, so practice, practice, practice. Hang in there. I'm sure that you have opportunities to kill animals this year. Practice tip I would give you, like I said, to recap, go out and shoot at least 3 days a week, if not 4, 15, 20 minutes a day. I just shot that first arrow right there. And let me shoot a second arrow on this turkey. Oh, I dropped this. Let me shoot this turkey right here. This turkey right now is not at 25 yards because I'm actually closer. Now it's about 15. Okay. All right, got that. And yeah, this is pretty much what you want to do. Okay, that's what you want to do. All right. And so the thing is, guys, if you consistently come out, I just shot 3 arrows. So those 3 arrows took me, what, 5 seconds, not 5 seconds, but 30 seconds to shoot 3 arrows and focus on your spot. If you shot groups of 3 for 30 minutes, that's a lot of practice, but you have to consistently do that so that you have the ability to learn your equipment as well as learn how to have discipline to practice each week to put yourself in a position to be successful when it counts the most. The other thing I would say to end the video is this bow right here, this Bear Super Kodiak is a new bow to me. So right now, since I just bought this 3-4 weeks ago, I am now shooting with this every week. I'm already familiar with most of my bows, but this bow I'm not familiar with. So before I go hunting with it, even though that I have experience in traditional archery, I'm going out with this bow and practicing with it, with the arrows. I'm going with aluminum arrows, 660 grain, 670 grain arrows, almost a 60-pound bow, and it's a recurve. I usually go with long bows, so my release has to be cleaner, and my grip's a little bit different, and all these different things, right? So I'm drilling it in my head before I go hunting with it. So I won't probably hunt with this bow to another couple of weeks. So I'm practicing about 3 to 4 weeks with it, then I'll go out with it, and I won't even second guess my equipment, because I know my equipment. Okay, guys, that's another piece to this. So I did this video a little longer than usual, but I wanted to really express to you why it's important to practice throughout the year and what fruit you can get from it in a hunting situation, since I just experienced it. Now, everybody was bragging on me and doing all these different things, but it was a very humbling experience to be esteemed by your fellow hunters because you were able to go out and do something that they don't see themselves doing. And so I told them, I said, guys, you can do the same thing. It just takes practice. All right, guys, you hang in there. And remember this, you don't have to get ready when you stay ready. All right, guys, we'll talk to you soon.